Cyrus the Great in the Bible. Cyrus the Great, c. 600 or 576 to 530 BC, figures in the Hebrew Bible as the patron and deliverer of the Jews. He is mentioned 23 times by name and alluded to several times more. From these statements, it appears that Cyrus the Great, king of Persia, was the monarch under whom the Babylonian captivity ended. For according to the Bible, in the first year of his reign, he was prompted by God to make a decree that the temple in Jerusalem should be rebuilt and that such Jews as care to might return to their land for this purpose. Moreover, he showed his interest in the project by sending back with them the sacred vessels which had been taken from the first temple and a considerable sum of money with which to buy building materials. The existence of the decree has been challenged. Ezra 1.1. During the first year that Cyrus was king of Persia, the Lord encouraged Cyrus to make an announcement. Cyrus put that announcement in writing and had it read every place in his kingdom. Cyrus conquered Babylon in 536 BC, then made Persia a world empire. It covered the Middle East, half of Asia, much of Europe, and some of Russia. He reigned from 538 to 529 BC and died in battle. He respected the customs and religions of each land he conquered and allowed the people to continue living as they had been. His political and military methods were humane, and successful, and his policies of human rights renowned. His palace was in today's Iran. After he conquered Babylon, one of his early conquests, the people there hailed him as their liberator. People in the lands he conquered loved Cyrus. Ezra 1.2 1 2 to 4. From Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord, the God of heaven, gave all the kingdoms on earth to me, and the Lord chose me to build a temple for him at Jerusalem in the country of Judah. The Lord is the God of Israel, the God that is in Jerusalem. If any of God's people are living among you, then I pray God will bless them. You must let them go to Jerusalem in the country of Judah. You must let them go build the Lord's temple. And so, in any place where there might be survivors of Israel, the men in that place must support those survivors. Give those people silver, gold, cows, and other things. Give them gifts for God's temple in Jerusalem. The Cyrus surrender is considered one of the, if not the greatest statements of human rights in the history of the world. Among his statements of human and religious rights, he said this: as to the inhabitants of Babylon, who against the will of the God were enslaved, I abolished the corvée which was against their social standing. Regarding other kingdoms he had conquered, he said this about their religion: I also gathered all their former inhabitants and returned to them their habitations. Furthermore, I resettled unharmed in their former chapels. the places which make them happy. May all the gods whom I have placed within their sanctuaries and resettled in their sacred cities address a daily prayer in my favor. Ezra 4 5 to 24 5 24. This continued the whole time that Cyrus was the king of Persia until Darius became the king of Persia. So the work stopped on God's temple in Jerusalem. The work did not continue until Darius' second year as king of Persia. Cambyses II, Cyrus' son, was king of Persia for only 7 years. Then Darius became king in 522 BC, rather than engrave his victories on walls of a palace. He had then them engraved on the great Behistan mountain in today's Iran. It begins with his ancestry, proceeds to rebellions following the death of Cyrus the Great and his son Cambyses, and then gives his version of events and victories he enjoyed. He reigned until 476 BC for 46 years. The inscription includes three versions of the same text, written in three different cuneiform script language: Old Persian, Aramaic, and Babylonian, a later form of Akkadian. It is to cuneiform that what the Rosetta Stone was to hieroglyphics. Darius' son Xerxes succeeded him. Ezra 17, 6.1, 5.17, 6.1 to 3. Now, if it please the king, please search the official record of the king. See if it is true that King Cyrus gave an order to build again God's temple in Jerusalem, and then, sir, please send us a letter to let us know what you have decided to do about this. So King Darius gave an order to set the writings of the kings before him. Those writings were kept in Babylon in the same place the money was kept. A scroll was found in the fortress of Ecbatana. Ecbatana is in the province of Media. This is what was written on that scroll. Official note: Darius, during Cyrus' first year as king, Cyrus gave an order about the temple of God in Jerusalem. The order said, in October 539 BC, Persian king Cyrus took Babylon, the ancient capital of an empire covering modern Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Israel. Babylon was the ancient history of Babylon was the ancient world's capital of scholarship and science. The Chronicles of Nabonidus covers history of Babylon from 556 BC to 539 BC. It is on display at the British Museum in London. It explains that in the 6th year of the reign of King Nabonidus of Babylon, King Astyages called up his troops and marched against Cyrus, king of ancient Persia. In order to meet him in battle, the army of Astyages revolted against him, and in fetters they delivered him to Cyrus. Cyrus marched against the country Ecbatana, the royal residence he seized. Silver, gold, other valuable of the country Ecbatana he took as booty and brought to ancient Persia. Ecbatana is part of today's city of Hegmatana.